Hi, this is Adam Christopher Chaplin, the CEO of DeFi for You. I'm going to give you some nice updates now. We've had a very busy time since the initial IDO and the initial development of the platform, which is going brilliantly. We have now 2 teams working full-time on each part of this platform. One side is the NFTs and the other side is the DeFi for You. So it's a double platform, and I'll talk more about that later, but that's coming along very nicely. It's huge development. It's not just a question of making a blockchain and letting it go decentralized. It's a platform that will have multi-functions on. And as we know, only those that engage with their public and look after their clients by way of a platform in the end generally survive, whether that's an exchange, whether that's Traveller AVA, or many other ones that have got real world use. So we're very excited about this, although the task ahead is gargantuan. We're set for it. We have the teams for it. Our other tech partner, the companies that we own, are actually building some blockchain projects for the government in the future, which I will announce to you. But the big news, if you understand this, and this is the one, do you understand this? The big news for all you DeFionians out there is that we have an FCA license for the UK where we are legally registered as a company, and we have offices there. And in charge over there is a guy called Sean Kearney Mason, who is the business coach for DeFi and is at the moment getting all the partnerships on board with the pawn brokers, stroke jewelry shops, because we have the FCA license, which is the Financial Money Conduct, Behave Yourself Authority. So we're under their umbrella, which gives us huge credibility, which means we can also in the future now have what they call institutional investors come in. So that's big because institutional money tends to stay there for a lot longer than people coming in and out on a trade. It gives it more stability, okay, and more credibility. So if there's a company in the UK, for instance, that we deal with that would like to buy in through a bond system, we can do that, and that will ultimately obviously push the token price up, but it'll also make it much more stable and give it a lot more volume. So that's big news. Whether a lot of the people listening to this understand just how big news this is, just to put it in layman's terms, other token that's done this in the UK went up by times 500. So we're not out there yet, we're not fully functional, but we then become functional with the businesses in the UK, and that will then help us to expand from that point there globally to be the world's first global pawn site. Now pawn, P-A-W-N, not B-O-R-N, pawn site, is the oldest type of finance. People forget this. Now on the actual platform itself, when it's all finished, you'll be able to go on there and offer peer-to-peer loans to each other, to friends, family, or people outside of your circle that have a good reputation, all right? But you're also, if you have hard world goods and you have a pawn shop on there, and this is quite exciting, and you have an item that you want to pawn, but you haven't got the liquidity, i.e. the money for that, we can provide finance for that on your pawn shop, depending obviously on your liquidity of tokens, but we can provide you finance, real world finance, to offer out real world pawn loans. They come in at around about 90% under the FCA regulation law. So if you lend out $100, you get $90 back, or you get the actual item back. And there are regulations around that, but ultimately it's the safest and oldest form of finance being mixed with the brand newest form of finance, and we're starting to build this platform that really is taking shape. It's not an easy build, but when it's finished, and it's my last one, and I'm obviously really engaged, as are the team on this, and you're not really seeing what's going on behind the scenes, which is, there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes, and this platform is going to be a monster. And if we can be, and I don't see a reason why we can't be, because the reaction we're getting from companies all over the world has been absolutely fabulous. If we can be the world's first decentralized loan economy, peer-to-peer and NFT lending platform and validating platform, because we have a guy called Miles who's been in validation for 20 years. He's part of the team. You'll see him on the website. He's not just there because he's handsome. He's there because he's been involved in this industry for 20 years, and he's very much our rudder and will steer us through the idiosyncrasies of each lending process, borrowing process. So this is what the platform's going to be. Now that's not going to happen overnight. Yeah, this is when we say ever thought about becoming your own bank, that's what we mean. All right. And different levels of membership will allow different levels of usage within the system, of course. So those at the highest level will get all the benefits of, and the less tokens you own and use, you will lose your benefits of. But even at the very lowest level, you can open up your own peer-to-peer pawn lending on crypto, and that would be negotiating your own deal. So imagine you being a bank, all right, and looking at us, and what would you be thinking? You'd be thinking, well, this is a very, very unusual tack for any company to go down, because they are in a very old set of thinking. It's not we're against banks, it's just that we think the new technology that's there now can really free people up, can free up liquidate assets for companies. Now, the guy called Sean Mason, for instance, he is a business coach. He's also a personal friend of mine, owned the biggest bankruptcy company in the UK, so he knows more about businesses going down than anybody else in the world. The idea of DeFi for you is quite simple. The embryonic start of it, I started this because we sat there nearly about a year and a half ago, and we went, oh my goodness, this is going to be a tsunami for small to medium-sized businesses, the COVID. And we're not wrong. There's 94,000 businesses going into receivership in the UK alone, who've all got stock, and maybe we can help finance their stock. And if they can't make it, fine, we repossess their stock. But at least they had a chance of their last set of finance. And if they can, great, we put them on the track, and we probably do a deal to be part of that business. So in the long run, this is a very, very important platform on all sorts of levels for people. As we say, we're not against banks, but to actually give the people the freedom to do what they want, to lend, to borrow, to make their own terms, to liquidate their assets, it's big. Now, you might not feel that's much of a offer in, let's say, the UK, but if you lived in South America, for instance, and you couldn't get a bank account, you really can open up a DeFi for you wallet. From there, you could make some sale of just some hard goods you had, okay, second-hand goods, not new goods, hard goods you had. Then you could open your wallet, and then you could have some cryptocurrency in there, and from there, who knows where you end up. But ultimately, we're looking to get on a lot of people that aren't involved in the system. We want to take on people that are savvy enough to actually open up their own shops, and there will be videos on that later. But this is a very exciting platform. If you actually read through what we do, and I know a lot of people just get to the first page and go, oh, that's enough. I'm guilty of that myself. But it's a big build. We've got huge teams. We've got the backing of the FCA authority. We've got some great people involved in this on the tech side. But if you're looking for a 1 minute return of profit, then it's not for you, this one. The more we build it, the better it is, the more partnerships we have, the bigger the business. Of course, that has an effect on the particular price of the coin token, all right? But these things take time, but it gives it more stability, all right? It gives it a lot more stability. It's not a pump and it's not a dump, it's a real business. There's lots of people involved on this. Now, that I've just mentioned the Financial Services Authority. Give me 1 second here. 1 minute, okay. And Miles Mann, all right. Now, we're going to do a huge, pardon me, start again. I've got to do this in one take. Right, we're going to do a huge, massive marketing campaign in Europe, okay, about what we do. So to really get the message out there, where we're spending millions of dollars on that particular campaign. Because if nobody knows about us, then nobody's going to buy into us, okay? So we're now expanding from our initial group of investors, should we call them, or people that buy up the token, whatever the correct word is at the moment. This is not my financial advice, okay? But we've got talks going ahead in Europe with some of the biggest football teams in Europe for the associations and brand recognition as well. So I can't tell you which one's going to be successful, but we're going to be up there with a very large club, Premiership club, pretty soon. So I feel I've sort of updated you now. Now this is from me to you, updating you, but this is how we work. If you can be patient, and if you can let us do our job and build this platform, yes, we will monetize that token and make you all very happy that you bought early days. All right, but if you're trying every time we release some good news, you line up to sell that said token, then you make our life very hard and your life very unprofitable. So hold, lock them in. It's okay. Don't have to stare at your screen all the time. Hold, lock them in, because if there's any advice to be given about the markets and day trading and whatever trading you do, my advice to you would be, look at the team we've got developing this. Look at actually what we're doing, the indefatigable effort that they're pushing forward on this. Look at the people involved in marketing for us. Look at the people that we're heavily connected to. Look at the system we built on. Okay, now I'm not suggesting we are the very best team that crypto's ever had, but we're certainly up there on the business side of it. We're certainly up there, and we've got some great technical skills here. A lot of people don't really understand what Vietnam is, so let me just quickly talk about that. Vietnam is a vast untapped market of technical talent. Out of so many ICOs that were done 3-4 years ago, the ones that were done and have been developed in Vietnam, A, are still here, which is very credible because most have gone, and B, are operational at a profit still. If you've got great tech, but you've got it at the right price, you can keep developing, and you need to keep developing because things change so quickly. And Vietnam's perfect for that. As far as business ethic goes, I think we can all agree that the UK is more credible, so that's where we register our worldwide company. All right, and that's where we'll open up the banks for DeFi. So we're taking the best out of each area to promote, obviously, our particular platform, and that's what it is, a platform. This cryptocurrency will do something, will have a real good world use. It will also record your reputation down on the blockchain. So if you've had a colourful past and you want a chance to start again, this is your chance to reset the button that you broke with the bank, and then liquidate some assets to move forward, because money really does make money. And if we're denied that particular avenue, it's very hard to make money from no money. So we're here to help out as many small and medium-sized businesses as we can. The NFT platform is super exciting. It basically turns anything of high value into a digital asset online. We're going to use hard NFTs, so if it's, instead of just having like a painting that we think is worth $69 million, we don't know why anyone bought it, but they did, and then we give a loan against that particular painting. Maybe that painting goes down to virtually nothing because it was just a big crazy hype thing. So they're what we call soft NFTs, which we'll do, and people engage in and people want to gamble on. But the real difference here is we'll be having hard NFTs on there. So let's say diamond dealers, watch dealers, cars, yachts. Okay, they have to validate their particular product, stick it on an NFT, and if anybody's buying property or diamonds or jewellery for investments, they can be held at a central location. They can just own the NFT and use the NFT to buy and sell like they would a property, but a lot easier when it's first been validated. But we do all the validations. This is massive. It means a lot of companies out there can liquidate a lot of their stock that's not seen, and still keep the stock there. But ultimately, it means people can buy from other countries without having tax on it. There's all sorts of pluses with this, but the NFT market for us, in our humble opinion, not in everyone's, the NFT market for us is very, 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 very early on and incredibly lucrative in the future. There is no doubt about it that NFTs are going to be with us to stay. What size of the market, I don't know, but they're going to certainly be up in the top 10, that's for sure. So ultimately, we're concentrating on the NFTs, we're building the platform. It's great for your support. All I would ask you is, when we have some good news, pay attention, I shall say this only once. When we have some good news, can we please, not just line up to sell, can we just hold a little bit and see what happens, all right? But be aware, good companies are built over a period of time. They don't just materialise overnight, ever. And that's hard work behind the scenes. It's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, and the team is dedicated. You know, Ken, the CFO, he works about 27 hours a day out of the 24. He'll be 97 years old very shortly. But he works all the time. There's all sorts of people in the background that are working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, and including myself, and rightly so. So we are absolutely, totally committed to building this. Nobody's going anywhere. We're business people. We're not just people that just built a blockchain. No offense, but we are. You can see us on Facebook. You can ring phone numbers. People answer them. You can talk to people in the company. It's a bit of a different approach to tech, but we think that's what we need to do to engage with the global market. And if we just grab 1% of the global market, the pawn market, we have done just out of the box extraordinary things. And I'm hoping to grab a lot more because there isn't any competition. So stick with us, yeah? Keep hold of it, all right? Keep hold of your sanity. Don't watch your markets all day long. You'll go crazy. It will rock and roll. But remember, we are building, and each time we build, we release news to you, all right? We tell you, we give you little sort of heads up on the future. I can't tell you the things like which exchanges we're applying for because we're not allowed. We can't tell you directly which teams we're going to sponsorship up with because until it's signed we're not allowed. But everything we said so far has come true. We thank you for your support, and all I want to say to you is, and it's very simple, is hold. Give us time to build.